Hello, hello, hello. Today is Thursday, October 31st. That's right. It is Halloween, and I am a
Mhm.
cowboy, and I am here to talk about the challenge with my best friend Kyle. Let's get into it.
Oh, here I am.
Woo! All right. My name, of course, is John Dunphy. Today, I'm standing my queen, Miss Mariah, with the fantastic thighs. I'm joined, as always, by my ride or die, Mr. Kyle Petty Basal. But as you can see, we are without Miss Gina Morgino tonight.
Mhm.
Is she sick? Does she have better things to do? I don't know.
According to her story, a little bit of both, but according to my heart, it's only one, and it ain't a
Yeah,
cough cough, that's for sure.
yeah. Feels very much like we were ditched tonight by Gina Morgino. But
Which is fine, which is fine. Let's just call it what it is.
yeah, no,
We
yeah.
wanted to go out trick or treating, all right? So we got tricked.
Oh man, but we're here to talk about episode 11, payback era of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras.
Mhm.
We're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. So find us on the
Yeah.
socials at Strat Chat Pod.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess we should get into this episode. Well, actually, have you had any trick or treaters? You didn't get any last year, right?
No, I had none last year, and I was not going to buy candy, and after work, I said, "Ah, shoot. Let me just run down here." And I bought candy and not a soul.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
soul. So now I got a big old bag of Kit Kats, not a
Nice.
complaint, and a large bag of Tootsie Roll Pops, not a complaint. Because, side note, kind of knew no kids are going to show up. So I figured I get candy I already liked.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I've got all the candy I'm supposed to be giving out.
Are those
Right
the
there.
pumpkins?
There's the Reese's pumpkins. I got a few Kit Kats in here.
The
Yeah.
pumpkins are top tier. Top
Very
tier.
good. Very good. Yes.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
ratio of peanut
Yes,
butter to chocolate, fantastic.
it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Um, but we came in to this house following the last elimination where Bananas sent Ryan home. It was a lot of fireworks, obviously. Bananas
Hmm.
very upset that he wasn't able to select Tori as a target. But he did end up picking all three of the ladies of leisure. He
He sure
picked
did.
he picked Naya, he picked Olivia, he picked Michelle. He had some unkind words for them, calling them Devin's snakes and all that.
Hmm.
Um, I want to get what your thoughts are on Kylan sort of confronting Bananas, because there was something here that Kylan said that I was like, listen, man, how many of these seasons have you done? I've done 3 of these, and I knew that like you probably weren't going to be able to pick Tori as a target. Like, really?
Hmm. Hmm.
And he was kind of questioning like why Naya, I guess. What are your thoughts on Kylan though? Like,
I honestly, this was giving me Kylan and Xavier vibes, from his exit from the Big Brother house. Because it's like, why? I just need to know why. And it's like, you're not owed an explanation. As much as I love Kylan, like he acts as if, well, it's either you're an idiot or you're a liar, and I don't think you're an idiot, so you must be lying. And it's like, well, what are you, like the morality police? Like, so, like, I don't know, like. I get you asking him, like, "Hey, is there a reason why you selected Naya? Like, what's going on here?" But whatever answer he gives you is just, I think, the answer you just have to accept. Like, you can't press someone. How can someone prove what their reason was? Like,
yeah,
what answer were you looking for? If not that, like, what did you expect, and what would have satisfied you? Like, I don't know. I thought it was
right,
still
right. Especially like,
violent.
especially because like when you do think about it, like Bananas was going against Devin, right? Devin's gone now. So who am I going to pick as my target? So I can't pick Tori. So I'll pick Michelle, who was in a showmance with Devin and her 2 closest allies. Right? Like
Right.
it makes a lot of
And who
sense.
else would he have selected? Like,
Right. Well, Kylan was questioning why he didn't choose
oh, Kara.
Clara, which I get. But again, I think it makes more sense for where we are in the game right now with what's just happened between Bananas and Devin. Uh, if you can't pick Tori, pick the next 3 of Devin's best allies. Like that makes sense to me. So
Makes sense to me too. And also his relationship with Kara, even though they're not really down for each other right now, they've always had like ups and downs too. So like I feel like there's a little bit more history there that he would maybe want to respect, question mark, question mark. Like,
Yeah. It's
oh,
interesting too, because even the last few weeks, we haven't seen any of the fireworks we were seeing between Laurel and Cara. Like that's died
mm-mm,
down a lot too. And just on that, because I've seen on social media a lot too, Cara commenting about how like this season she's kind of been like laying a lot lower than she normally does. Um, and it seems like right now, anyway, it's paying off for her. Like there was a lot of attention around Cara at first, and people wanting to come for her, and now I feel like you don't really hear anybody mentioning her as a target, as a threat that
mm-mm.
you can get out like immediately, anything like that.
No. So far, so good.
Yeah,
You know, we'll see. Her stuff always seems to kind of come out of nowhere. So,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Um, I also so before we get into the daily challenge, I also just have to say that like this episode, like I know we haven't always been super high on Michelle, but in this particular episode, I was finding her like very whiny and grating,
Oh, terrible.
right?
Just
Like
terrible.
coming back into the house and confronting Bananas, like coming into that room, I'm like, where is he? And talking about how like she's so hurt and this and that. I just was like, all right, get over it, Michelle.
She needs to get over it because like when she was has been in power positions before and people brought complaints like that to her, I think she was rather cold in some interactions. Like, "Oh well, I'm sorry, it's just the way the numbers go. It is a game." And it's like that's how you talk to people who are trying to win you over. But then when you're in that position, you act as if you haven't behaved similarly, you know? It's
Right,
like you
right.
expect people to treat you better than you've treated others. And it's like if that's the game, then just understand that that's the game. Like,
Yeah. No, that's totally my feeling too, is that it's like Michelle will she'll say whatever she wants to you when she's in the position of power, but the second that she's in some trouble, it's like, "Why me? Why me?" Like,
mhm.
that's yeah.
It's just not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, like,
It's
even
like,
that, the exchange in the chamber, right? When Michelle is down there, we know Nia was going in because she lost the daily challenge, like and Jenny finally won a daily, which I was super happy about,
mhm.
and, like, the fact that Jenny, like, literally just said, like, "Hey, listen, Nia, I'm sorry you're in that position because of the 3 of you, you've really been the only person that's had my back. So, Michelle and Olivia, I don't really care which one of you goes in." And Michelle was like, "Well, I think that's trash." And I literally wrote a note down as I was watching, and I was like, "I think you're trash, Michelle."
Yeah.
Because,
And
like
it's like because like, what do you want Jenny to say in this moment? Because she's like, "Oh, you didn't need to say anything, you should have some respect for the fact that we're in a tough position here." And it's like, "But what do you want Jenny to submit to this?" Like she's supposed to be in a position where she is now sharing her opinion, sharing what she thinks and what her thoughts are here or what her take on the situation is. And it's like she's literally just saying, "I couldn't care less because you guys don't care about me." Like,
right, right.
I
Eh
I don't think she did anything different from what anyone else sitting in those 2 chairs would have been, except that she was effectively removing herself from it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
uh,
And, like, I had no problem whatsoever with what she said either because we saw her through the early stages of this game constantly saying to her team, like, "Why am I always the one being thrown as the target?
mhm,
Why doesn't anyone else ever volunteer like we see other eras do? Like, it's always me. You guys all have each other's backs." And so now she's got
mhm.
some power. Like, yeah, I was happy to see her throw it back in Michelle's face a little bit. Like,
And especially since, like, I'm gonna counter that, and she doesn't even have power. Like, this was all Kylan's
true,
decision
yeah,
to make anyway. So,
yeah,
uh, she certainly doesn't get she certainly should not be sitting there completely mute simply because she doesn't have a vote. She should get to have a statement. And
yeah,
sorry you didn't like it.
yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
tough noogies, tough noogies.
Yeah. Um, so this moved us into our daily challenge, which was called Building Bridges. And I loved this daily challenge.
Mm,
It made me think of like a Super Mario board, like
yeah.
collecting coins along the way, climbing the ladder, you're jumping to this platform to another platform. Like it really felt like I was watching like a life version of Mario, Super Mario.
And this was just fun because it was just a fun one to watch. Like this, I think this is one of the best dailies we've seen in like some time.
Yeah, this was a great one.
I really like this one.
So for this one, the rules were that the players would climb a tower, jump onto a pole, slide halfway down, then step onto a platform, collect 3 coins to deposit into the bank, then solve a puzzle, race across a bridge, collect more coins and deposit them in the bank, and then after one final Tarzan swing, which is what they called it, into a tower of blocks, their time would stop. And this, yeah, like we said, this was just a really, really fun one. I was really surprised with how poorly Kara did. They like
Alright.
mentioned that she was a really great rock climber and stuff like that, and that is the part where she fell, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the hell, Cara?"
Michelle also did pretty poorly in this one, which I kind of surprised me.
Yeah, honestly, all three of the targets, Naya, Olivia, and Michelle, none of them made it past the rock wall,
Very bad.
which was like
I
the
mean, I
very
wouldn't have
beginning.
made. I don't think I would have made it past the net.
I mean, I don't know that I would have even made it to that ladder too after the rock wall. I'm hoping that I would have gotten up the net rope or whatever that was there.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think I'd be able to get through the rock climbing to the ladder, but
If I even made it to the rock climbing, I'd just be proud.
yeah, yeah. Um, Bananas, he did really well in this. I'm curious because they didn't tell us right how far apart Bananas and Kyland were, but I'm curious how much Bananas missing that first coin really screwed him up because he had to go back for it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
because they told us the difference between Jenny and Tori, the top two women, but they did not mention the difference between Kyland and Bananas. But Kyland took the win. Jenny took the win for the women. Um, Apparently beating Tori by just 6/100ths of a second. And according to TJ, this was the closest daily challenge finish in the challenge history. Um,
I'd be more jazzed if you put the clock on the bottom.
right, because they like randomly flash it up there, but it's like
It doesn't mean anything
it's never
because,
consistent.
yeah, I don't know where you are in the whole thing. Like when you're flashing the time, it's only up for a moment. It's not relative to anything.
Yeah,
It's not like you're flashing. It's not like there's some midpoint where like that. Oh, here's a checkpoint. We show you everyone's time at this time. It doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, oh, you know what's interesting too? So I didn't mention we found out because Michelle from the previous episode had a penalty in this daily challenge, and we found out that it was a 30-second penalty, like a time penalty. I'm like a little bit curious about this, and I only really kind of just thought about it now. But Naya ended up coming in last place for the women, and we found out that if you fell off of this obstacle course, that you would be disqualified, and it would come down to the distance you traveled. I'm kind of curious about this because I didn't really see where. I guess Michelle was probably higher up than Naya was at that point, but I'm curious about that because the time penalty in that regard. Like, there's a part of me
It
that feels
doesn't
like
matter.
right, because if you're going by distance, the time doesn't matter. So, like, I'm curious how close Naya and Michelle actually were, because, like, what if
Well,
Naya
Naya never made it to that ladder, did she?
did either of them? Michelle, did she actually grab it? She
M-
might have grabbed
I
onto it.
think
Yeah,
she was.
yeah, I think you're
I
right.
think it was her reaching for it or was on it. Like that's when she failed.
Right,
Um, I don't think Naya made it to the ladder.
right. Yeah. It's just interesting to me to think that like there's a time penalty in this, but then like the way that the last place finishers are going to be decided is by distance, not by time. I don't know. That was
Mm.
there's something weird about that to me. Um,
Well, they probably also didn't think that so many people would just be DQ'd.
that's true. Yeah.
You know.
Uh, so yes, Kylan wins for the men. Jenny wins for the women. Last place for the women is Naya going straight to elimination. Last place for the men is Theo, who will have a penalty for the next daily challenge, which I'm curious to see how that's going to work too, because I feel like based on the challenge, it could be a very different penalty that you get.
Mm.
You know, if time isn't as much of a factor. This puts Kylan though in a super awkward position, having to make this decision because this was the second daily challenge now in a row that we've had where one of the three targets was the last place finisher. Um, so instead of having three people to choose from to go into elimination, now you're left with Olivia or Michelle having to go against your showmans. And it just works out that Olivia and Michelle are two of your closest allies. This was like the worst. Like, I mean, it's not really a bad time for Kylan to win because like there's nothing he can really do much, but just a terrible position to be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, But we got to club night, and I'm curious what you think about club night in this episode, because this one I thought was actually pretty exciting, with Bananas causing all the chaos that he was causing, talking about. Well, it started actually with Olivia confronting him about being called like a snake with the whole Devin thing.
Mhm.
Um, and then Bananas started kind of blowing up everybody's game. So it starts with Olivia and Bananas. Bananas turns to Naya and mentions how Jordan does not even have her in his like top four or top five. Um, we see Tori at one point getting up, and like Bananas is blowing her game up. I thought this was actually like one of the more entertaining nights where we were out with the whole cast at like a bar or a club than we normally get.
Yeah, this was definitely more entertaining. I was getting annoyed with people like Kara and like, oh, this has become the Johnny show, and
Oh yeah,
now he's complaining that he's so the victim. First of all, Kara, that's exactly what you were doing with the entire Laurel thing. Okay, because you were definitely, at least from what we saw, I still maintain you initiated a lot of those interactions that went sour. So there's that. But I don't know what people expect from Johnny. In one breath they say this is what he always does. This is what he always does. And then you get annoyed when you do something that you know he's now going to respond with. That's what he has always done. And I think I can't necessarily say that I would be acting much different. I don't know that I'd be as aggressive as he was in certain moments, but like if you are now going to come and confront me and try and bring me some heat, and everyone else is watching, that was not a conversation that was just happening between Olivia and Johnny. Like this was now everyone was a party to this. So it's like if you're going to shine this light on me, like I've been so dishonest and I'm now the snake, well then I am going to shine a light on other people that are behaving the exact same way. Like I isn't that like natural to do?
right.
And if you don't like when he gets like this, stop making him like that. Let him make his snake comment that no one would have even remembered by the next day other than you, because again, that is just Bananas antics. So just let him be Bananas and just enjoy your night. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what version of him you expected to come out. Like, again, like, what do you say? Oh,
right,
you know what, Olivia? You're right. I shouldn't have called you that, girl. I'm sorry. I'm going to get you your next drink. Like, that was never going to be the answer. Like,
right.
of course, that's what you get.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is why, as much as he's like an irritant and like he's an asshole, like that's exactly what he's trying to be and trying to do. And like it's part of
It
the show.
worked.
And yeah, and I love it because the next day you got Naya going to Jordan
Hmm.
asking, like, hey, that thing that that thing that Banana said last night about me not being on the top of your list, like, is that true? And we saw Jordan not really able to give like a really very good answer. So um yeah, I
Right.
just
So it's
exactly what
like,
Johnny is here to do.
that's exactly what Johnny is here to do. And like, it also kind of proved that even though he was being loud and obnoxious about it, clearly he didn't lie because Jordan was not able to talk his way out of that. So,
Yeah,
I, what do you think he did wrong here? Like,
right. And then it
yeah.
honestly it helps him so much too, because even just that one little seed, all it takes is one seed. Because then all those other ones that you've planted, even if they weren't like real, if you were lying about them, it gives them just the tiniest bit of credibility. Because it's like, oh wait,
Hmm.
Naya now sitting there going, all right, well, Bananas, we all thought he was throwing out, bullshit, but this Jordan thing is true. Maybe what he was claiming Devin said is also true, because Johnny totally twisted up all of Devin's words when that was going on with Devin and Michelle. But now it's
Hmm.
like, well, was Johnny being more honest than we thought? Like, I feel like everything that Johnny says now is a little bit more like, ooh, do we know for sure this is a lie? Like,
Right. Which is exactly what he wants you to feel and think. And again, this is how he plays the game. Like, don't be surprised that when you poke the bear, you know, you got swatted.
yeah, swatted. um, I do. I have to just say it one more time too about Rachel. Like, Rachel is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
last player left from Era One. She's just such a beast. And we talked about her last week being not only like such an incredible competitor, but also being like like very good at the social part of the game for like the older, like one of the older players that maybe the game was different back when they first started.
Right, and not
There
even
wasn't all this
maybe, definitely
politicking.
was.
Definitely was, yeah.
Mhm. Everyone played with
Um,
honor. "Alright, you finished last, the next last person, they go in. That's it.
yeah,
That's it. You didn't win, you go in."
yeah. And,
Yeah.
like, we've seen her be on Era 1 that was just getting absolutely decimated with really no real allies,
Annihilated. Mhm.
and now
Blown
it
up.
seems like, right, like,
Mhm.
she's in with Bananas and all of the rest of Bananas Angels. Um, she's gotten yeah, she's gotten an inroad with Tori, which has led to a relationship with Jordan. In this episode,
Mhm.
we saw
Mhm.
her, talking with Corey and Nehemiah about teaming up with them. Like, Rachel has been positioning herself incredibly well.
Fantastically, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for her. Um, and no matter how far she goes in this game, I already know that I wanna see her on a future season now because whatever she learned and picked up from this, if this is how well you have performed in a game that is so, so different, then I wanna see you at your next go in a game that has similar mechanics,
yeah.
you know? Yeah. She's awesome. Just
She
awesome.
really is. She is
Mhm.
so awesome. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel is one of my favorites by for sure. Um, but okay, so we went to the chamber. We talked a little bit about that already with Jenny's comments and Michelle going back at it.
Yeah. I don't think
But
there's much else from there.
yeah, there wasn't really much else from this chamber. But I did like just on the coattails of because we got the chamber, we got the conversation between Naya and Jordan, and it was kind of fun just to see. I know we don't get to see it play out now, but just to see Naya be like, "Listen, when I come back in this house, Jordan's a target." I was like, "Wow,
Mm.
awesome." Um,
We didn't get to see her do it, but,
yeah,
spoiler alert,
yeah, yep.
happened anyway.
Um, but all right, I guess that brings us into the elimination. Um, so the elimination tonight was called, or last night was called 40fication. You get it? You get it?
Yeah, we got it. We
It's like
got it.
it's like fortification, except it's 40fication.
Oh, we said we had it.
um, but yeah, so we had Naya and Michelle battling in this elimination where they would have to solve equations to unlock chains. And then once
Mm,
the chains were unlocked, they would have to haul these large crates into a square. And the first person to get all their crates into that square would be the winner. Um, we saw some different strategies here. Michelle was kind of doing some math and pulling some crates, where Naya decided, let me do all the math and then pull all the crates.
yeah.
Um, and Michelle's strategy, I guess, paid off here. She took the win.
I thought that
Um,
was a smart way to do it.
I think so too, and I forget who it
Mhm.
was now. Maybe Kyland, who was commenting that like everyone was trying to tell Naya like do what Michelle is doing because you're giving yourself a break from each task. Do some
Yes.
math, right? Yeah, like do some
Mhm,
math,
mhm.
then pull a couple of crates over, then do some more math. That way, like you're never
Right.
looking at too many numbers or pulling too much weight all at once. You're giving yourself a break, and that's exactly what Michelle did. And she won. Naya still did a very good job, I thought, but
She
Michelle,
did an awesome job.
yeah,
Honestly, she would have won that if it wasn't for the math.
yeah, yeah. And Naya is another one that I like a lot. I hope we see more in the future. So
Yeah, I like new Naya.
yeah,
Old Naya from yesteryear was a little bit too much. I like this Naya.
yeah. Well, I'm especially again, thank you, Bananas. But now, I mean, and you never know what's going to happen in an off season. People can talk and patch things up, but it would be nice to see Naya coming in because I feel like she's come into her recent seasons when Jordan's been there or whoever's been there, feeling like those are my people. But I wonder now if she was coming into a new season and someone like Jordan was there, maybe we'd see her on another side of the house. Um,
It's
so
possible.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Michelle wins. She names our new targets for the men, which is Bananas, Jordan, and Nehemiah. I feel like Bananas really is the number one target,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
Jordan being up there is huge for Bananas, I think. Uh, and I just feel bad. I feel like Nehemiah was just kind of the throw in, but just like pawns can go home in Big Brother, the throw in can end up being the one that goes home in the
Right.
challenge. So
You really never know. It really depends on who loses. Depends a lot on who loses. It also depends on what female wins because, this whole thing is so interesting too. Because if the women don't have as much of a vested interest in this other side. So it's also about what woman might be influenced by what man to make what decision. And the same thing, like the other way around. Like, when Laurel's like, what man doesn't want me around? Well, maybe the girl that he's most closely paired with.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I kind of enjoyed that about this game because so many things would be a no brainer if you're just voting for your own gender.
right.
But doing it this way,
No,
you
yeah,
can't even guess how it can go.
no, totally. It's
Yeah.
so funny because like this isn't like a battle of the sexes season or anything like that.
Right.
But it's so interesting to hear how many different players in the house. We've heard it from Tori, we've heard it from Michelle, we've heard it from some of the guys too, of like people being like, Michelle saying like, "Oh, I really got to work hard to make sure I get close with some of these guys," or even the fact that Tori was called out by Bananas. Like, Tori, how many guys are you protecting? How many like can you actually do anything to protect? Like we see people over and over again talking about how they have to like really work hard to make relationships with
Mhm.
people of the opposite gender, and it's like, I don't know, it's just an interesting dynamic that I don't think I was really
It
expecting
is.
on the season.
No, it's not, and I have to be now that we're thinking about it even further, get a little granular here. I don't wanna see Rachel win this next one, now that I think about it.
Hmm.
I don't think that's a wonderful decision for her to have to make. She's already aligned with Bananas. She's been trying to get, like, closer to Nehemiah, as she said in this episode, and then if she's trying to also work with Tori, ipso facto, you're kind of working with Jordan, so what decision does Rachel make now?
Yeah,
Like now, the politics of this are going to get really, really dicey.
yeah, yeah. I feel
Mhm.
like if I'm Rachel, I am on the men's elimination days. I feel like I am not trying to win. I'm trying to come middle of the pack.
Yes.
Don't give me a
Yeah.
penalty.
Exactly. Don't
Yeah,
be last.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give me a penalty. Don't give me any decisions to make. And then the women's days just fucking go all out. Like,
Right.
and win. And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
feel like more times than not, she could actually just win when she wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought that the world would be like Laurel, Cara, and Rachel. What an amazing lineup there! Like,
I know,
that's
I
awesome.
know. And then you still have people like Jenny, who like Jenny is awesome
Jenny,
too.
and you still have Tori in there, even though I don't like
Yeah,
her.
we're forgetting
Like, you
Tori.
still
Yeah,
got Tori in there, and like Aviv has been doing great, except for this newly found ankle flarn. Ugh,
I know, I know,
not good,
I
not
know.
good.
Also, just one last thing about Jenny. My God, her body is absolutely incredible.
I thought you were going to offer us something a little bit more. I don't know.
Substantive. No, she's
Yeah,
just God.
yeah. She is pretty gorgeous. She is something else. Yep.
I'd
Yep.
let her. I'd let her toss me around.
Oh, oh.
I mean, she could absolutely kick my ass. So
She definitely could.
yeah. Oh my God, I would get yeah. I'd let her. Hey Jenny.
Oh. Hey, Jenny girl.
And the next on, like you said, apparently an Aviv injury. Got no hint of this during the daily challenge. It took the next on to tell us about it. Of course, she tells us she is hoping not to have to run in the daily challenge. She felt some kind of pop during the
Mhm.
challenge, the last daily challenge, and hurts now when she puts her heel, I think she said, to the ground.
Yeah, not
Um,
good.
so she's hoping not to have to run in the next daily challenge, but those hopes are quickly dashed
Yes,
because we
because
find out from
immediately after
TJ,
she
yeah,
said that, we saw her running.
yeah, running, and not
I
only is it a
laughed.
running challenge, but TJ tells us that this is a mini final, um,
And
and yes,
our
also
favorite,
a
you can
purge.
say, yes, thank God, thank God. Oh, now we need it.
Yeah,
God,
how many people are leaving? I wonder how many people are actually going to go.
I hope 4.
That would be nice. That's what I was hoping too. If we could lose
I
four,
wouldn't mind 6, but
yeah, yeah.
4, at
Um,
least 4. Or else it's not a purge. It's got to be a minimum of 4, because otherwise it's just a double, and that's not exciting.
yeah,
It is, but
yeah,
no, I want to see mad heads walk out. We
Yeah.
got to speed this up. I want this sucker wrapped up by Christmas, you know?
Oh my god, Christmas. It's almost 2 months away. I hope it's done by then. God.
Well, I mean, Survivor is going that deep. I mean, Survivor goes until when does it end? I think that ends the 18th.
Yeah. But what are we
I
we're only on what episode are we up to on Survivor?
I don't know.
It's like
It
7
was only
or
day 13, I thought they said. I'm like, we haven't even done this for 2 weeks in your world. Oh,
I know. I know. But in Survivor now, see, that's half a season is 13 days. That's crazy.
stupid.
I know. I can't wait for Australian Survivor with the with Suri
I
and
know.
Parvati and all them.
This is why I want a month off though. But we're not getting Surrey and Parvati for a while. Slow that one down. That's not happening until the summer.
I know. I just
Yeah, I
can't
just
wait.
don't want you. Yeah, I just don't want you to get like falsely excited.
No,
The
I
January
know.
season is all newbies,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
going to be fantastic in itself.
it is. It is. Yeah.
But I would love to see a late January premiere. We can wrap up Survivor in the Challenge, and I would really like to go dark for a few
Dark.
weeks. Yes,
Yeah.
Strat
Okay.
Chat's closed.
All right. All right. Um, now I hear that. So I think that's all I had for this episode. Oh, well, let's just look. So we lost Naya, which means that your team did take another hit.
Yeah, yeah.
This is still insanely close, though, this draft. Um, well, obviously, we got to see what happens with Aviv with her injury, but you still have Aviv, Bananas, Jenny, Kyland, and Rachel. Those are all even let's just say, God forbid, Aviv had to be like medically disqualified or whatever. The four that you would still be left with Bananas, Jenny, Kyland, and Rachel are like all
Yeah,
top
it's still a
top
strong
tier.
four. I'm
Yeah.
already counting Aviv out though, at based on what we saw. That really didn't look good. Popping the ankle, hopes it's not running. They're doing a mini final. She's out of here.
Ugh, I hope not.
In a purge situation, I mean, you have to assume at least two females are going to go. I mean, who is she going to perform worse than with an injury?
Yeah.
And when you look at it like that, everyone is so strong now. You can't be injured, is the bottom line.
Yeah. I will just say also about Aviv, and I feel like I feel it sucks because it happened literally in the same daily challenge that she got injured in. But like I really hope that Aviv comes back because we haven't seen Aviv in a long time. But even what we were talking about before, right? The fact that people like Kara, and then the fact that people like Naya and Olivia and Michelle, like newer, younger people, right? Like weren't able to make it past like the very early stage of the daily challenge, and Aviv was like whipping through that thing. Makes me feel like
Mhm.
Aviv deserves to be here on more seasons. Like she can definitely
Yeah.
keep up with people,
Yes, you can.
and she should be back very soon. I think so.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I like her.
So you've still got five left.
Hmm.
Gina also still has five. She's got Cara, Josh, Olivia, Michelle, and Nehemiah. I am far less confident in Gina's team than I am in your team.
She's got some problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, Michelle. Listen, I think we downplay Michelle a lot. I think she's very strong. I think that Nehemiah is very strong. I just don't care for how he plays the game. But I think
Yeah.
he's a good competitor. Um, I think that Olivia's star is it's kind of burning out for me. I
Yeah.
think she had a strong beginning in the challenge verse, and I'm just less and less interested in her as time goes on.
I know. When she was teamed up with Horacio in that first season, I was like, wow, these two are going to be something to watch.
Hmm.
And then,
And I gotta say, I feel the same way about Horacio, though. I'm kind of over him also.
right. Like Horacio, I feel like you cannot deny that he is like fantastic. He's a super athlete. Like he's an awesome athlete. He can do very well in competitions. He has no idea how to play any other part of this game, socially, strategically. He just wants to go out and play the games and do the challenges.
Yeah, and it's just not
All
fun
he
to
wants to do.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know like what he needs. If it's like maybe he needs to be on another season with where he gets to play in a pair, where like this is your ride or die, like because that season was ride or dies. Like that was the theme. you are stuck with this other person. Like I feel like he needs to be in a pair with someone that knows how to maneuver through the game. It's like, all right, Horacio, you win the challenges, I'll make the relationships, and like that's how he's going to get to the end and maybe win. But I don't think he can do it on his own.
I don't want to see him again.
Like ever?
No.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, I'm over it. Like I'm done.
Well, all
I'm good. Yeah. No, I don't see him in any other format or I'm over it.
right.
Like I'm not gonna riot or anything. Like if he does come back, like I wouldn't see it as like a big minus or something. But I don't really care. I don't.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
He's
I
not a
hear that.
plus. He's not a plus. If Kylan wants him back, I'll support it for that reason. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I couldn't care
Um,
less.
I mean, when you think about it too, like Horacio really is so boring. Like he'll never be able
He's
to
boring.
be, he'll never be able to be on like a season of the challenge rivals or something because he's never going to have rivals. He's never going to like
No,
be in it in the middle of any confrontations, or he's just kind of there and he can win some stuff. But other than that, he doesn't really add anything to the show.
no, he doesn't. He's boring.
Um, all right, and then we'll check out my team. I will say I still have 6 players to you and Gina's 5.
Yeah, but your people they're gonna go.
I don't know. I got Jordan and Laurel. Oh, Jordan's in trouble. He's a target. And Theo has a penalty in the next daily challenge.
Yeah, and Theo, I don't feel like is performing on quite the same level as he used to. Derek may be a runner, but I mean, if
he,
history really is any reference,
he did say today, too, he mentioned that he's a very good swimmer, which could be
mhm.
a part of a final.
Well, I mean, let's
So
see. Let's see if he
running,
makes it through the
yeah,
purge.
running, swimming, endurance. I don't know. I have no idea about his ability to eat gross things, but I guess we'll see. I guess the people that I'm feeling strongest about right now, even though he's a target, I feel like I always feel good about Jordan, and then
Yes.
Laurel and Tori. The other 3 I'm not as high on.
What other three? You're not high on Corey? What'd you say?
I said I'm high on Jordan,
Hmm.
Laurel, and Tori, not as high on the other 3. So Derek, Theo, and Corey.
I'm high on Corey.
Well, I mean, I think he's doing pretty well this season. I like Corey. I just like it's the same thing with Derek. If history indicates, like I don't,
I know. I
yeah,
know.
that's all. Um, but I
Corey is
think
so
honestly,
unbelievably hot. He's just so hot. Like it's just so stupid and ridiculous. Like he's just incredible. So I want to see Corey in the final. If for no other reason, I just want him in every episode.
yeah, I feel like we should do a stream one time with just me and you talking about all the people that we think are like incredibly hot.
Just and we can do it with every series, every show that we
Yeah,
watch.
right.
Like the hottest people in Big Brother, like the hottest people from the challenge. And then Gina will show up and be like, Quinn. And be like, this stream is over. Terrible.
Oh god. Oh man. Um. All right. Is there anything else? I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I have too. It was eventful but straightforward, you know?
Yeah, these challenge episodes this season have been interesting to me. There just hasn't been a lot going on. I feel like.
No, I will say, parting thought though, they didn't show it, which I think is a shame, but lots of credit to Jordan getting up that rock wall with
Mm,
one hand, basically. I don't know how that was not shown.
yeah, Jordan is like a freak of nature in like the
Hmm.
best way possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I didn't even think anything
He
negative with that. The fact that you could scale that
right,
thing
right,
because those rock, we keep calling them rock climbing things, but they were like little circles that were itty bitty. Like these, like when they zoomed in, like I don't know how anybody was grabbing them in the first place, and you
yeah,
to like basically missing a whole hand and go up. Like I can't even imagine how he did that.
yeah. It's like Jordan. He rock climbs better than other people with 2 hands. He swings sledgehammers better than people with 2 hands.
Yeah, still beat
Like
Theo. That's how bad Theo did.
yeah,
He doesn't. This man doesn't have a hand, and he he got up a wall and threw this thing faster than you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, poor Theo.
I feel like Jordan really is one of those people that could have been, if he wanted to, could have been a professional athlete,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
an Olympic athlete. Like he is just like a freak of. We've actually seen challengers compete against on like champs versus stars and stuff, or champs versus pros, right? Like we've seen some of these people compete against Olympic athletes and professional athletes and beat them. And Jordan is better than a lot of the challengers that beat
Hmm.
those people, like
Right. Right.
so. But yeah, Jordan's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's my parting thought. Yeah, Jordan's great.
That's why I'm glad that he's on my draft team too. Even if he's a target, he's volunteered to be a target this season multiple times and has survived. So I'm not worried about Jordan.
I think it
Um,
should be.
yeah, but all right, I think that's it. So what do we have coming up? I guess we'll be back on Monday, right? From what Mikey said, I think Mondays work best for him for our continued coverage of Survivor 47.
Hmm.
So we'll confirm the time, and I will post that on the socials. And then, of course, we'll be back next Thursday in November to talk more Challenge 40. And I think that's all we have
Yes, we
coming up.
shall.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are your favorite reality TV podcast, after all.
We hope so.
So, yeah. So find us on the socials. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Happy Halloween. Hope you got some treats and very few tricks. And we'll
Hmm.
see you soon.
Yeah, be safe out there, you little whippersnappers.
Yeah.